Hello, incredible Monday. It's the start of another amazing work week. And we're going to kick it off, of course, with some good old education from the professor. All right, what are we going to go over or learn about today? I have an order, and it was for some shirts. So she had a logo and she sent it over, and based off of the way that it was designed, I figured the EcoSolvent, like, okay, hey, I have this printer, let's take advantage of it and do the EcoSolvent prints. For one, trying to set that up in Illustrator was, ugh. I did do the video to show how I did it, but even then, like, we have to go in and make changes. It just made it so much more difficult. I found that taking it into Silhouette Studio, again, is the easier route. So I'm still definitely team Silhouette for setting up the design, Adobe Illustrator simply for setting the cut lines. I mean, it's just so much easier, and it's so many fewer steps in Silhouette Studio than it is in Illustrator. So I was just like, you know what, this is for the birds. But in printing it, I will say that I didn't realize it was so much of a difference between the um, two types of printable Caesar printable HTV. I knew I had the color print and I had a new roll and I could not figure out where it was at. So I ended up grabbing one, and it's the matte one. So there's a very big difference in how it prints on matte versus how it prints on the color print, which is more of like a gloss or like semi-gloss color, which you're going to see. I do plan to go more into detail with how I went over this with my client, with how her logo was sent to her and like all the different, like the different methods, it was like the different ways it was sent, file formats. There we go. And although they did have, like, they did provide her with the raw file, the average person wouldn't know what to do with that file. Like, they're just looking at it with all of the glitz and glam and stuff on it. So I was trying to break it down to her as far as, how it should have been also sent. So I'm going to fix the file and send it to her in case there's anything that she needs done with it that I'm not able to do. She'll be able to get that done. But that's a video for another day, and really breaking down. It's one of the things that I am going to be talking about in my local sessions here in South Florida when I'm talking about starting a business, especially it's a creative business. Even if you're creating like your own brand, or like with her, she does braids and she's making like the units, the wig units that have braids on it. And you would think that you don't need to know about like things when it comes to your graphics or back of the house stuff, or really knowing like, um, you know, uh, getting certain things set up and certain systems in place, because like she was saying, she wants a label or a tag on the inside. If she wants to get like a dust bag or just, a nice little bag or a box for it, um, the way your logo is will determine like which methods you can actually use. So that's important and information and education, no matter if you are someone who is actively like making shirts or making tumblers, but just in business in general. A lot of times with business, people just talk about the financial side or the articles and all that kind of good jazz, but there's so much more to it. And that's where I come in. Like, I like educating people on the things that most people don't talk about, the creative side of it, the non necessarily like financial side of business that you just don't think about until it's too late and you're frustrated. But that is something I plan to do, some of the sessions locally. I do plan to do it, on virtually on 365 Creative Academy and have a session for it. I do want to do that one locally first, but we're gonna break this down. So I'm gonna, give her the shirt. She ordered 3 black ones, and she wanted the design on there. So 2 of them will be the printable vinyl. One will be with adhesive vinyl, not adhesive, layered heat transfer vinyl, so she can see the way that is. And then also when it comes to colors, so I wanted her to see when it's, the color of the colors that she wanted on a dark surface versus a lighter surface. So I'm also going to, she didn't order one, but because I have to make it for this video anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just give her that one. She ends up having a white one. And of course, if she likes it, then she'll come back and order another. So it's okay to sometimes give things away because you never know if it's going to generate orders for you. So we're going to look at layered heat transfer vinyl, printable HTV, as well as sublimation. So those are the three that we're going to look at and compare. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that when I do that video, that's going to break this down. So I've already told, I asked her about, using her logo as an example of the like how logos should come. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily wrong, but that designer skipped a step. And a lot of times it comes from, where they're like, okay, well, it's a $50 logo or a 25. I saw someone say, I'm doing logos for $5 and $10. Baby, that's not a logo. Look, if somebody offering you a logo for $5 or $10, they must be brand new and you're just, oh my God, my life's messing up. And it's almost like, okay, I'm your guinea pig, because there's no way, if you're going to provide a logo in the proper formats, are you ever going to sell a logo for $5 or $10? That's you just typing out something on a program, and technically anybody can do that. So, but this is why people charge upwards of $150, $200, because you're setting it up and like certain things. I know in my SVG, someone asked about like when you're sending it off for someone for DTF or screen print transfers, and they say it needs to be at least a 1 point. Well, this was like the perfect example. I wish I would have looked at this logo before my SVG class ended, because this is one that's like that. I'm going to see if it'll show up now that my light is off. But you see how that crown is in the middle where those little swirlies are, and even the dash lines, depending on how big or small you want something. If this was really big, that would never be a problem. But when it's small, now this is for an extra small shirt, so it's only about 9 inches wide. Well, those little swirls become less than 1 point thick. So if I were to send this off for DTF or screen print transfers, I would lose all of those details. The ink would basically fill in those gaps, and it wouldn't look kind of like how it was designed. That's why you have to know how different printing processes work. Because although this is great for digital, this is great for print, this is also was pretty decent for HTV, like regular vinyl, but for other things, when it's this small, it's not going to work. So you may end up having to have an alternative version of your logo so that does work. All right, so that's a lot of extra, probably didn't need all that. It's like, hey, your title says we're going to be comparing shirts. We didn't ask for all of this extra stuff you're talking about. Get to it. Because I've had someone say that on a video, just get to the point. Whoever, whatever, this my show. But anywho, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Since my light over here acted crazy, we're going to switch over to the other camera so that you can see it better, since this light wants to act foolish. What was I going to say? Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. My bad. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Ink 365. We are the parent company of Silaholics Anonymous, the product line, honestly speaking, where we carry sublimation ink, sublimation paper, pigment ink, and other accessories. It is also where you can enroll in my classes. If you would like information about my upcoming classes, especially the one for T-shirts, the T-shirt challenge, we're going to go over like in detail the pros and cons of all of these different methods. Be sure to go on the website, and where it says get class updates, get on that mailing list. The link for it is also in the description. And as always, Essentials to Silhouette Studio, I cannot stress it enough. Everyone needs this. Even if you think that you don't, I'm telling you, if you're doing anything creatively and designing, putting, typing out text, mixing some shapes, filling in with colors, you need this training. All right. So 8365 is a very, very, very reasonable investment for the betterment of your business. All right. So we're going to, like I said, switch over to the other camera so that I can show you guys the differences in this. So like I said, didn't realize it was such a difference between the one for like the matte one, and then the one that's just a color print. So let's see if it even shows up on camera where you can really actually know that. Where is the one that's not weeded? That probably will show it a little bit better. Where's the one that's not weeded? Oh, here it is. Child, what we're not about to do is try and fight this big old piece of vinyl. That's what we're not about to do. All right, let's see. See, on here, I feel like you can't tell the difference as much, but the purples in person look a lot lighter on this one. Compared to this one. See, oh, you can actually tell there. It looks much more vibrant. So the media that you print on makes a big difference. I mean, even look at the gold. And I have the metallic system. I have the metallic silver, and it didn't really, so I will say the metallic only works really good on adhesive vinyls. To me, this doesn't, I mean, it has like a shine to it, but it doesn't have like a real metallic look. This is the matte one. This is the regular color print. Oh yeah, you can see the difference there. You see the difference in how sharp and more vibrant the colors are? So you have to know your medias. You have to know them. They are not all created equal. The way the ink is put down on them, it will affect the way it looks. Same thing with sublimation. Something that is a shinier polyester is going to appear brighter than these like cotton-like polyester shirts that you guys like to look for. The colors are going to be different on those compared to a semi-glossy or glossy polyester shirt. All right, and then we're going to do it in layered vinyl. Now, this purple is a bit of a dark one. I mean, they do have one that's going to be lighter, but when you say purple, this is like the one, it looks blue on camera, but it definitely is purple. But you're going to see the difference of this on a dark garment. So even though, like, let's say your logo, like someone might be requesting purple, if they're wanting it on black, you may end up having to go a shade lighter just so that it actually shows up on the darker ones, on the darker shirts. Okay. But I had to convert the file to make it work like this. It was sent just like this. So you end up thinking that this is all you can really do with it, which you really can't. And now, if this was only sent as a PNG or a JPEG, which is how a lot of these $25, $50 graphic designers or logo designers sends it, if it was just a JPEG, you would not be able to do anything to this. And even getting it to print EcoSolvent, like you would have to know how to properly trace it out. I'm not going to get into it right now. Be sure to subscribe so I can get into this video, so you can get information when I'm really going to break down the pros and cons of the way this was created. All right, so that's that. And then here's this one. So we're going to do an EcoSolvent print, 2 EcoSolvent prints, because I already did those with the darker ones. The one with layered heat transfer vinyl. I didn't have a lighter purple. And then, of course, sublimation. Last night, I turned this around to show how to press a 13 by 19 print on a smaller heat press. And this morning, I'm like, this is perfect for these shirts because I'll be able to lay it out and it still stays flat. But then I don't have to worry about the color because it's way up there, but it stays nice and flat. I was like, ooh, see, this came in handy for the smaller shirts because I'm doing a youth extra large and an adult extra small for this particular order. All right, where did my linty brush go? All right, let me make it to where you guys come over here a little bit better. How are you guys doing? I know I got right into this. I'm trying to not have as much dead space in the beginning as I used to. I did not even share that. You guys can go ahead and hit the share button for me. and share this out, I would greatly appreciate it because I did not share it out this time. So I'm going to get my center for all of my shirts, and I'm going to get them all at the same time. So I'm going to put that one there. And these are next level shirts. And then the last one. And there's actually a slight difference in the youth versus the adult sizes. All right, one moment, y'all, because they're calling back to back. Okay, so let me grab this one, which is the adult. I mean the adult extra small. All right, and I'm going to do the layered one first. It's for a mannequin head, and so I don't want it to go down too low. And then you have to remember that like 3 fingers down would technically be to the top of this. So you have to decide you want to go like when you have a design that's top heavy. Do you want to go to the top or of the actual design or like the major part of it? So this is actually a pretty good middle ground. I'm going to take off this layer. Make sure it's kind of closer to the center heat. And then I'm going to layer this one on top, which I'm going to turn this bad boy because I'm not going to be able to see it that way. And this is the part that's very tricky with getting things like this to line up like perfectly. All right. I'm actually just going to do it the regular way since I turned it already. No, because it's not going to give me. All right, let's do it this way. I'm going to let that go for the full time. And this is going to be a cool peel because it is a foil vinyl. So we're going to let that cool while we do the next one. And this is going to be the EcoSolvent print. Oh, raggedy, and whatever. All right, so I'm going to fold this in half to find my center. And then use the line that I created to put this right at the center. I'm going to go 2-4 because I only need to press this one time. So I'm going to go to the 12. And that's going to press that for 12 seconds. I don't remember if, yeah, this one, let it cool. And then we're going to press the next one. And I don't know why every time I go to the back, it ends up with more lint on it. All I did was sit it across the chair. It must be dusty in this room. All right, this one I didn't take the back off yet. Oh, I don't even think I burnished this one down yet. Where did my squeegee go? Wherefore art thou, squeegee? Lord, now it's mixed in with all this stuff. That's not gonna work. And now I have all that stuff on my counters. I now have all this stuff on that desk where I normally squeegee these. Dang it. I completely forgot to take the backing off. But now, okay, let's see if I can get it to go from this way without messing up. Man. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to find a little spot on my desk to squeegee this one down so that it can actually grip to the transfer tape. 1 second. And Lord, I gotta now find my squeegee in all of the madness that is on my desk, Father. Lord have mercy. I don't like this one surface situation in my office. This really does not work for me to only have one actual work surface, because then when I need to do other stuff, like I have nowhere to do it, because I'll end up stacking like these other jobs and other stuff over there. So I'm not liking this one surface situation. And I just, did I just ruin this darn crown? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. One of the downsides of this printable transfer stuff is transferring it to the masking and getting this masking to sit properly or pick it up properly. Okay, there we go. So we're going to fold this in half, find my center point, and line that up with the center mark that is there. And then, of course, last but not least, the Sublimation Print. And we're going to let this cool while we do the Sublimation Print, which is still on the printer. So you can see what it looks like before, as far as the colors will not be the accurate colors until after you press it. Oh, shoot. All right. I do have to take this up to 6 minutes, but once it gets to 350, I'll actually be able to press this and it'll still look good. All right, I want to check my pressure on this shirt though. Okay, that's way too much pressure for sublimation. Okay, that's perfect. And then let me grab my cover sheet to press my lines out. All right, so I have to give this to at least 350 degrees. So right now we're at 310. It says 6 minutes. So I will answer your questions during that time frame. And let's see, can we actually, well, I'll do all of them at the end. I'll do them all at the end. So I'll answer any questions that you guys have because we have to take the temperature up for sublimation. And I only need to get to 350. So we won't have to wait the full 6 minutes. All right. I love the metallic. I know I was being very sarcastic, very, very sarcastic. I'm here for whatever information you have to share. Be sure to share out and click the thumbs up. Thank you so very much for that. Hey, hey, hey. Let's see. Where are we here? That's pretty, and it hasn't even been pressed yet. I never thought about pressing multiple shirts at the same time to get my center point. Thanks for that tip. You are very welcome. She says, neither have I. Hello. What settings should you be using? I'm using different ones. So the first ones were basically just heat transfer vinyl. So my heat press was set at 305. And I basically did it at 12 seconds. So if I have mine set up for layered vinyl, technically I press it like that purple one, I press for 2 seconds. And then I press the full one for basically mine is like set to 12. I kind of leave it sometimes to almost like 15 seconds, but each heat transfer vinyl will tell you the temperature that you need. And then for our sublimation paper, with this particular heat press, I can press at 365 for 30 seconds, technically 360 for 20 seconds. Or as you're about to see me do, when it gets to 350, I'm going to press it and I'm going to press it for about 55, almost 60 seconds because it is a lower temperature, but it's going to be basically the same. All right, so no other questions or comments were posted. Let's go and see where this temperature is and also prep because I need to cut this one out. So we're at about 330. So you should always cut down your ends. Now, if you want to go and cut close to it, you can. I typically tend to cut in a straight line because that will help with alignment. When you go and you do all of like those kind of like crazy cuts, it is a lot harder to line your design up. All right, so I'm going to fold this in half to find my center point. And put that right there so that it's ready to go and it's time to press it. We are at 340. As soon as it gets to 350, we will press it. Any questions for me while we are waiting for the heat press? Hey, just say, hey, that's what the kids are in there watching right now. You can probably even hear it in the distance. I was like literally just singing the theme song because it came on because my niece is in there watching it. All right, let's see. And then also I forgot I need to take this up to all right, so we're at 350, 349. I'm going to do it for 55 seconds. Nope, I never use butcher paper inside of my shirts. I mean, only time I really use butcher paper inside something is if I know that the heat can cause it to melt together. The pillowcases from the Dollar Tree, I use it on that one. But other than that, when you are using, honestly speaking, sublimation paper and our release is the way that it is, you don't have to, I don't put butcher paper inside or on top. Now, going 60 seconds, it could potentially go through. I mean, if you go like really, really long or too much pressure, but I'm also at 350 degrees, so I'm not really worried about it. Bam! And then we're going to put this on top. Adjust my pressure. I turned it too many times. Ooh, not enough pressure. And that's going to knock out that paper line that's around it. Oh, I left this way too long. That wasn't at 30 seconds. That just knocks the line out. And then, whoo, Jesus. Nothing's on the inside. So no, I do not use anything inside my shirt. There's nothing there. Because I'm pressing at a lower temperature. I don't need a lot of pressure and a faster time. I actually should have gone up. I forgot this is a V-neck. I actually should have gone up a little bit more on this one. I printed out 3 of them, so I can always do this again. But there is the sublimation one. I feel like it's not, okay, not at the right. It looks crooked on here because of my camera. All right, so now we're going to do whichever one I pull up first, which is the EcoSolvent print. And if you wanted to take out, some people say no, it takes out the shine. I mean, you can press it again to make it really like embed in there. I'm going to put parchment paper on top, not a Teflon. Teflon will cause a shine. Parchment paper will not. Uh-oh. If you guys lost video, hold on. Okay, there we go. So there's the one. There is the second one. And I'm going to show you the shine on this one compared to once you press it again, it takes away some of that, like where it looks very plasticky. So you press it again with parchment, not Teflon, and see it's like that compared to it being super, super shiny. Now, if you want the kind of like the shiny look, I mean, it's fine. But this one looks like it's really embedded in the shirt. And you pick up, to me, you pick up on the metallics a little bit better on that one than you do this one. And then the last one is the one with the heat transfer vinyl. And in order to keep the metallic look, we do not press this again. If we press it again, it'll be more like brushed metal. And I got it was a little piece left right there. But if you press it again, it'll look more like brushed instead of the foil. So we're going to leave this like this. So the gold definitely helps the purple stand out. On camera for you guys, you probably can see it a little bit better. But in person, the purple does get kind of lost, but the gold helps it stand out. Most people, I'm going to talk a little about the logos. If all someone sent you was a PNG or JPEG like this, or when you're getting your logos, you see this first, like you just like they go from, okay, hey, here's your logo, and all you see is this. You'll never know that you can have this. It's still the colors, it's still gold, it's still purple, but it's not the gradient or like it's not the fill color, but it doesn't make it where it's bad. You get like vinyl offers you additional options that you'll never be able to get from sublimation or printable transfers. So it's not that it's bad. If you want it purple and gold, you still get purple and gold and you have a nicer effect. This right here is all HTV. It's a smooth purple and then a foil gold. And so this one, which I probably could have picked a color that would be closer to this one, they put this is like the first gold that shows up on the metallic system for rolling. So of course this is a different color gold than that one, but it's what they consider to be gold. I need to do the color chart to figure out like exactly which one I want, because that's, I mean, it's more like a Vegas gold instead of a gold. And then of course, this was the full on printed one with how like they provided. So they had the gradient in there. So that's the full on design and with the gradient. Nothing was changed on this one. All right. So there are the 3 different methods. Now you're not going to see that one. It is now extremely hot in my office. Any questions? Before I hop off of here and get out of this hot office. I don't know why the air keeps shutting off. I think it's because it's on eco again and I'm burning up. And my heat press isn't even that high. I recently purchased your paper, but wasn't sure, so I used butcher paper. Good to know I don't have to use it. Thank you. Thank you. Be careful with what? And I saw that when I answered that one. All righty. If there are no other questions. Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you so much. And I'll go in and actually type it into the description so that they can easily click on it. You are welcome. You are welcome. Right? If you are interested in our sublimation paper that you save time. Like we have been advertising that from the beginning, that our sublimation paper will save you time and money because you don't have to use premium matte. Y'all see those colors are popping. You don't have to use premium matte. That's plain paper setting. So you're going to save on your ink, right? Then you don't have to take your heat press up to 400 degrees. Y'all saw I pressed that. And did you see the release on it? 350 degrees. And it's still released. It was 60 seconds compared to 30 seconds, but you don't have to take your heat press up that high. The higher it is, the more energy you're using, the more like the higher the cost will be. Then you can get your jobs done a lot faster because you can cut your time down if you're using like the higher, like 365, 370, somewhere in there. Then you save on butcher paper because most people, with most papers, you'll have to put paper on the inside, then on top of your print. And then you're going to have to use another one to knock out the line. The only time I use a cover sheet is to knock out the line around it. So I'm eliminating potentially either 1 to 2 extra sheets of cover paper, butcher, parchment. In this case, that was some old sublimation paper that I had. I'll use that as a cover sheet because I know it's not going to bleed through. But you're eliminating that. And then also for time, if you notice, only reason why I got really preheated was because I was checking the pressure, but I don't have to lint brush. Unless it's a Cricut shirt, I never have to lint brush because I'm pressing at a lower temperature and a faster time. So once you get up to those higher temperature is where that lint starts to activate and turn blue. We don't get that. So you are saving yourself a lot of headaches, and you're saving yourself a lot of money when you use the Honestly Speaking product line. So head on over to the website today. Actually, it's 3:00 now. So any orders now will be sent tomorrow. All orders before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time do get sent out the exact same day. Before 11 a.m. on Saturday, if you're shipping USPS, it gets sent out. Like I said, our bottles are 140 milliliters, so you'll not have to buy as many refills. It's going to last you a whole lot longer. Our paper is 120 GSMs, 100 sheets. But if you are skeptical, go up to where it says sublimation paper and go to the sample packs. There are 2 types, tacky and fast dry. Okay. You received your tacky paper Saturday. Yay. All right, y'all. You'll do it once it ends. All right. Thank you. Can you use our paper with other sub inks? Of course. You can use any paper with any inks with any paper. I mean, of course, the combination is always going to be amazing. But if you would like to, if you already have a printer full of ink, the power is in the paper. So definitely head over to the website and grab some of that Honestly Speaking paper. It honestly speaks for itself. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.